Hi, I'm Olivia Emmett and I work for Cumberland Falls State Resort Park. Welcome to the Recreation Station. Today I'm going to be talking about the night sky. You're probably wondering, why does Olivia have an umbrella when she's going to be talking about the night sky? Well, I'm going to use it as an example to show the two rotations that affect what stars we see. The first is every 24 hours we spin on our axis. The second is every year we move around the sun. Depending on where we are around the sun, we are going to see different stars. That's because at different times of the year, the sun is blocking the stars that are in that direction of the sun, and we can only see the stars that are in the opposite direction of the sun. Coming back to this side, the middle represents the North Star. And as we spin on our axis, the North Star stays in the same perspective from our vantage point. But the other stars move around. The two constellations that I've drawn on here are the Big Dipper, which a lot of you probably can identify. The other constellation is Cassiopeia. Both of these constellations can help you identify where the North Star is, which is in the constellation of the Little Dipper. To find it, you're first going to identify the Big Dipper. You find the two last stars of the Big Dipper and you create a line. Now continue that line and find the next brightest star. Keep in mind that the North Star isn't the brightest star in the sky, but it is the next brightest star that you will come across in that line. You can also find it by using Cassiopeia because you're not always going to be able to find the Big Dipper. Cassiopeia's W points towards our North Star. I'm going to tell you a fun fact about the North Star. The southern hemisphere does not have an equivalent. It is because, from their perspective, a single star does not stay in the same place like it does in the northern hemisphere. If you take a look at this star map, from our northern hemisphere, you'll see the constellation of the Little Dipper, and the North Star is in the center of the sky map. Now you'll take a look at our southern hemisphere sky map, and you'll see that there is no star in the center of that sky map. Now coming back to the rotation around, the sun, you'll see that at different times of the year, different stars, different constellations are going to be visible. Now say you are born in the star sign of Virgo. Now Virgo means you're born either in late August or early September. Now that constellation is not going to be visible at that time. It's going to be visible when it's on the opposite side of the sun. So when your constellation is during your birthday, you actually cannot see your constellation during your birthday because the sun is in that constellation, meaning you can't see it. Now, I want to talk a little bit about sky maps. If you want to get more involved in identifying where constellations are in the sky at certain times of the year and certain times of the night, you use the rotation of sky maps to determine what stars are visible. This open space in the sky map shows you what stars are visible, and the center of the sky map shows you where the North Star is. Another fun fact about our North Star, as I mentioned earlier, the southern pole does not have one. Well, our North Star is called Thebaid. Actually, Polaris, correct me. Thebaid used to be our North Star and will be our North Star in the future. So Thebaid was the North Star several thousand years ago, and it will be our North Star in several thousand years in the future. And that's because not only are we rotating around the sun, not only are we spinning every day around the sun, but we're also wobbling back and forth. After several thousand years, we are going to wobble back so that Thebaid will once again be our North Star. The last thing I want to talk about you don't need a whole lot to see up close and personal the night sky. A regular pair of binoculars, you can actually see a lot more than you can with the naked eye. If you don't have a pair of binoculars, you still can use your eyeballs, and I encourage everybody to go outside and identify the North Star. Thank you. Have a good week.